So hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca and I'm a non-traditional equestrian and I keep exotic pets as well. So this video is just an update about how my animals at home are doing. So I've got Malachi, Melvin and I've got my tarantula Spud. So I'm going to be going over how they're doing, recent updates on their enclosures. So I won't be feeding them in this video, just as some people might find this a bit uncomfortable as they are fed live food. So if you want to see this, keep on watching. Okay, so Spud is currently in this, I think it's an Exoterra. I could be wrong, I just got it off Amazon. It's a fairly okay size. I apologise for the mess in the background. He's currently on my makeup desk as I've just started back up at work. So it's quite a large enclosure. I know a lot of people like to keep their tarantulas in smaller enclosures. I personally like to give them bigger than they're meant to be in. Spud is definitely a wanderer. So he is a curly hair tarantula. I'm useless with the scientific names, so I'll make sure to put it up on the screen for you. So let's see if we can actually get in there without him running off. He's quite a shy little guy. So you can kind of see him a little bit through the sides. I'm going to try and get a better view for you before I try and open it. So he's just here and you can just about see a leg sticking out. He has actually made a burrow going all the way down to the bottom. It does look a little bit dry in there today, but I'm just going to spray it down when I top his water up later. Oh, there he goes. So you can kind of see his legs sticking out. Tarantulas are, as you can probably tell, the most helpful when you're trying to get photos of them. So his burrow, I started it for him. So when I built this enclosure, he's got his water, he's got a couple of pine cones because he likes to web them up and climb on them. I built a higher section of his vivarium, or faunarium, whatever you would call this thing. So I built up one side higher so that he could bury himself. He absolutely loves burrowing, so I thought I'd give him a big area. And he's got a flatter area here. He's actually built himself a little mound over here. This was where his water dish was. And he liked to tip his water out and then fill it with all this mud. So his water dish has now been moved, thankfully. And as you can see, he's still building his little mound. But he's got a bit of bark. Oh, here he comes. He's got a bit of bark that goes across the top, just so he had a secure area that he could start a burrow. Because knowing him, he'd probably start it right in the back corner and then have nowhere to actually burrow. So I gave him a little helping hand. So you can see his little fluffy legs. He has molted once since my first video that I showed unboxing him. And surprisingly, he's a little chunky boy now. So trying to get the best view I can of him. But he's quite a shy one. So on to the next guys. Okay, so here's Melvin's enclosure. You can see my little reflection in the window. So he has a 3 foot by 1 foot vivarium. I am planning on updating it, getting him a bigger one eventually, and building him kind of a more bioactive enclosure. So his water is empty, so I'm going to top that up. But just to start, so this might be a bit squeaky, he likes putting mud in the corner. So he's got a deep heat projector in here. He's got his little calcium dish that he likes to dig the corner out of. This is, funny enough, his favourite sitting spot. He doesn't even sit on his rock that often. This is a rock that heats up, but it's not plugged in, as it was more of a backup in case my deep heat projector ever broke. When I originally bought it, I had just a ceramic heat bulb, but this is just a backup heat source, so it's not on, and he likes to take his thermostat off of it. This is his favourite spot. As you can see, he likes to bury his house and then he digs his way in there. So he absolutely loves it, but this is all going to be getting a complete remodel soon. So his moist hide, I have no idea where he is currently, but his moist hide I spray down kind of once a week, I'd say. Sometimes if I think that he looks like he's going to shed, then I'll just give it a good douse down, and it's just got a bit of moss in there. And then just covered up by broken leaves that came out of Malachi's enclosure. So they just randomly sit on top. They don't even sit properly, and you can never get them back how they looked before. So I think it's time to just give up with that. So into this side of the enclosure, he has a little log hide that he loves. And then I've actually got, this is an old snake hide that I had for my sister's royal python. And when he grew out of it, I've just turned it on his side, put a bit of slate in front of it, and built him a little tunnel. Oh, he's heard me talking and he thinks he's getting fed. Here he comes. But he's got, I just got this, it was a cheap plant thing. I just pulled all the bits that actually come off. I've given it a clean. These polystyrene bits, they don't come off. I've tried to scrub them as much as I can, so I'm not worried at all of him ingesting it. And he actually just sits behind it most days, and he's got his little coconut. If I put that back. So you probably notice he is quite a bit underweight. He has been to the vet, and the vet has cleared him for any parasites or illness or anything. We think that it might just be where he lost his tail when he was younger. So he's about 2 years old now. He was born in December of 2019. So he's about 2 years. I'm probably getting my maths completely wrong, but I'm sure he is. And I don't know his morph. I got him from a pet shop, or I should say reptile shop. It wasn't like Pets at Home or Jollies or anything. It was a shop that sells tarantulas, reptiles, all sorts of things like that. So I prefer to shop at places like that or go directly to breeders. But when you do that, please make sure that you actually look at the breeder's information and make sure that they're doing it all safely. So he is definitely underweight. You can kind of see his spine. He seems all happy. He still eats. He still moves. He actually gets fed. I do every day with... Oh, he's going to hunt my hand now. He gets fed every day. And I will sometimes skip a day if he's eaten more one day. So I feed him until he looks full and doesn't want any more. And he's going to try and bite me or yawn. He is such a funny little boy. And he's got me. So I'm pretty sure he's blind, because he reacts to all movement. He never used to be like this. He was such a great hunter. But about a year ago, he somehow escaped his old vivarium, which is why he got his upgrade. So he escaped his vivarium, somehow got out of my room, and his vivarium was quite a height. So I don't know if you can see properly, but his old vivarium was quite a bit higher than this. So he somehow got out, probably fell, causing any injuries. I obviously took him to the vets after this happened, and they said that he was perfectly fine and happy. But he did get chased by the cat. So he lost his tail. Oh, you hold it on. So he lost his tail, and it has grown back quite nicely, but he goes through stages where he'll refuse food, or sometimes he'll even still be eating food as often as normal, and his tail will just start getting very small, and the vet's cleared it saying it's fine. So it's just obviously keeping an eye on him, making sure he's fed as much as we can. but he doesn't look like he's going to start putting on weight soon. He does have regular checkups, so in a couple of months he'll be going back just to make sure that everything's fine with him still. So unfortunately, this is just what he looks like now, which is a bit sad, as he used to be a little chunky boy as well. So it's quite sad seeing him all small, but he's happy and he loves coming out for his playtime. Trying to see if I can focus on his eyes, because he's got the most stunning little eyes. It's not going to focus on them. So I'm going to insert a photo of his eyes because they are just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But he is such a character. He comes out for playtimes almost daily and loves a run around, and then will snuggle up on my dressing gown. So he's such a happy boy. I just wish I could get weight on him. So his enclosure is, if you can see the size of him, it's fairly long. He does like going for wanders, and it's going to be getting its upgrade soon. So once I get all the materials for it, I'll do a video on redecorating it and making it more bioactive for him. So that's Melvin. So next up we have Malachi, but we're never going to find him. He is just the invisible ninja. But this is his enclosure, so if I back up a bit you can see that it is fairly large. I mean, if you compare it to that water bottle, it's a fairly large enclosure. So he's got a nice big stump there, another one there that leads up, and he's got a nice hide up there. So he is a Gargoyle Gecko. I'll put a couple of pictures of him on screen. He currently is fed on, I think it's called Rapashi. He's currently going through a phase of throwing his feed dish on the floor. So this is what his dish goes in. As you can see, it's absolutely disgusting now. But it just sticks onto the doors, and then that's where he gets his food. And for the past 2 years of owning him, he's never touched it. But now apparently he hates it and pulls it off the wall. And it doesn't matter how many times you put it up, where you put it, he'll rip it back down. So he's currently got his food in a little dish just down there, and he gets sprayed every morning and evening just so he's got a nice humid enclosure. So his light is currently broken, so I've got a temporary one in there that died yesterday, so that doesn't even work anymore either. But I'm waiting for a replacement bulb, and then I'm going to reinstall that. Not a clue where this boy is. He is the same age as Melvin. I got him about 2-3 months after I got Melvin, and I just love him to bits. But yeah, not a clue where he is. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I will be going back to my equestrian videos on Monday, but I really hope you enjoyed, and if you do, please leave a like, and if you have any questions, put it down in the comment section, and if you did really enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Thanks for watching.